Hey, and it usually goes live when I'm doing something weird. I always do this to make sure it all's working. Hey, and I'm gonna do this. You're gonna be fine because we're on. We're live. Hey, everybody! It's 6 o'clock. We got another special for you here this evening. We were just sitting out here talking. A lot of people have a lot of ideas about addiction and about how small their God is and what their God can do. And hey, we got another special one here for you, just show you how big God is. If you'll let Him be ruler of your life, well, He can do mighty things. I got a brother said that somebody forgot to tell him that couples that use together can't be sober together. Somebody forgot to tell him you can do roof work and be sober together. Hey, listen, you can live in Kentucky and be sober. Ain't that true? It can be done. That's still one of the scariest places for me, but hey, it can be done. I got the suit on. We've been in court all day today, so we're in there showing out. And of course, my beard is better than his. Just heads up. So, hey, we're going to get out of the way. We're going to let Anthony and Brianne, Genoe get on here and share their story with you guys. I'm going to get out of the way. And when they get done, they'll just let me know. And we got a little bit of special surprise for you. It's coming up on the 10th. I'll let you know a little bit more about that. As always, like thank STAND and Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services for allowing us to do that. And we're out of the way. And y'all have a good one.
Hello, my name is Brianne Genoe. This is a little weird for me, so just bear with me. I'm a grateful believer in Jesus Christ. I've been sober almost 5 years now. And I'm going to start off by saying I have anxiety. So anxiety is a big part of my story and a lot of reason why I use. But every time I get asked to do a testimony, my anxiety tries to kick in and the devil uses that against me. But I was watching a sermon the other day that said, always be faithful to God because you never know how many lives will be blessed by your faithfulness. And that's true because a lot of testimonies have helped a lot of people, especially me and my husband. So I'm going to start by telling my childhood. I was born and raised in McCreary County. I'm the oldest of 4 girls. I was brought up kind of poor, but both my parents used drugs, and my entire childhood, actually. So my childhood looked like me and my sisters taking care of each other pretty much. My parents locking themselves in bathrooms and bedrooms. I don't blame my parents for my addiction, because my other sisters, they didn't turn out like I did. It was a choice, really. I started using marijuana when I was about 14. Just because the friends asked me to. And that developed into pain pills, which I started in those when I got my first relationship. And all my relationships up till on my last one were all abusive. Because my anxiety always told me I couldn't do any better. And I believed it. And when I started doing drugs, I realized that helped my anxiety. I wasn't afraid to talk to people. I wasn't crippled anymore. I just didn't really care. Is all there was to it. My parents divorced when I was 16 years old. And we stayed with my mother. So that was pretty much the go-ahead for us to do whatever we wanted to do. Because she didn't really have control of us. And she didn't really try to have control of us. So I started using even more. I was drinking and doing pain pills and other drugs. And I started stealing from my family. They couldn't leave me in the house around their stuff. I ended up getting pregnant when I was 19 years old to a guy that was in and out of prison. And it wasn't a relationship. It was just a drug partnership is all it was. We ended up getting married, and the next day he went to prison. And that was the end of that relationship. But I ended up getting pregnant again with their second child. So here I am with 2 kids by myself, still using drugs, thinking that I'm managing. But really, I'm not even giving them the attention they need. uh, I started using Suboxone to try to get off of pain pills because everybody said that was the drug to get you off. And I seen where doctors were pushing it on people. But really, I ain't trying to step on anybody's toes. Even if you're doing Suboxone, you're still doing drugs. It's just trading one drug for another. And it's just as bad. If not, that was one of the worst things I ever come off of was Suboxone. So, anyway, I continued. I never stopped. I never stopped doing anything. I traded one drug for another. It went from Suboxone to methamphetamine. And then I started using the needle. And I still had my children at the time. And I was so blind that I didn't realize that I was hurting them because I wasn't doing it in front of them, but I wasn't giving the attention they needed. And I was locking myself in the bathroom for hours. And they were banging on the door, just wanting their mother. And I was just being selfish and just wanting to feel better all the time. I could never feel good enough. My sister ended up taking my children, which is a blessing. I didn't think it was a blessing then. I actually was really mad and I hated her for it, but thank God she did because she took care of them babies when I couldn't. And it spiraled me into depression because I felt like I had nothing else to move forward for. So I ended up, of course I was homeless, and I ended up hopping from drug dealers' houses, doing things I shouldn't have done, and I'm not proud of. I ended up robbing a guy for all the dope he had, thinking that was going to be my big getaway to start a life. Of course, I was delusional. I remember just being tired of being taken advantage of, tired of being beat by all the people I've been with, and I remember praying to God just to help me, take me out of the world, just do whatever you got to do. And it wasn't a couple days later that I got busted by the Drug Task Force. I got charged for 2 felonies, wanton endangerment, 1st degree, and trafficking methamphetamine. And you think that would have scared me and woke me up, but it sure didn't. Because they released me on our MCR bond, which means I had to call in every day and find out if I had to take a drug test. But the first one went good. I went and stayed clean for that first drug test, and then the next one, I just couldn't stop. So I went in one time and peed dirty for him, and I never came back. That's when I ended up meeting my right now husband. I hadn't seen him since school, and I instantly was attracted to him, was drawn to him. And yeah, we did use together a little bit, but he was the first and only person to tell me, you're better than this, you need to quit. And I didn't know how to take that. It was strange to me to actually be treated like a person. So we started hanging out for about a couple of weeks, and I had my big court date to sign my pretrial diversion. I had been clean for a couple of days, so I figured I'd be all right. But I went in front of Judge Tapp in Somerset, and I signed my big deal, and he told me, I'll give you your deal if you can pass the drug screen. So I said, okay. And I felt a faint line, and that was God. And I tell you why it was God, because if I would have got out of that courtroom, I would have been straight back to the same thing over and over again. So he locked me up. I got put in jail for a month, and I went and seen him again, and he said, I'm going to give you 6 years in jail, or you can take rehab for 6 months. And I said, of course I'll take rehab, because I thought that'd be an easy way out, because nobody wants to go to jail for 6 years. But it wasn't the easy way out. I didn't get a lay around in rehab. No, they stripped me everything. They made me look at myself. I was in there for 11 months. And in that 11 months, they taught me how to pray again. They taught me how to remove all these things that had blocking God. I had resentments, I had hate, pride. I had all my depression. I had to write down everybody I had harmed. I had to make amends. And as I started doing all these things that they taught me, I could feel the Spirit coming back into me. I could feel God coming back into me, and I could hear Him again. I just blocked Him so much stuff that I didn't realize. I thought He left me, but I left Him. He was always there. When I got up in probably phase 3, I started talking to Anthony again where I could get a phone, and it was good to hear that, he still cared about me, and he could see how much different I was. And we started dating again. And when I graduated rehab, of course we were officially together, but I still wasn't treating him the way I should treated him. I was still even though I had become a different person, I still wasn't a new person. I still wasn't a good person. So I treated him horribly, and hopefully he's forgiven me for that. But I still had problems. Well, we got together, we got us a place, and of course he got put in jail for certain things, and he got drug court. So when he got out for drug court, he had to take meetings, and we found a celebrate recovery at our church. We started going there, and that's when things completely changed for us. I mean, I felt the spirit in there. I mean, I was holding back so many tears. I pretty much ran to the altar, and I gave my life to the Lord, and I'm telling you, it's the best feeling ever. I walked out a changed person. And you can ask my husband, I'm completely different from what he remembers. I mean, and that's when we started building a life really together. I ended up getting my children back, got custody of them back. And let me think. We got our own place. We become a part of Celebrate Recovery. We do some small groups and stuff like that. We help with programs. God works in weird ways, because I never thought that we'd be in that church. I never thought that him getting in trouble would reunite us and get us saved. But I can tell you what God's doing for me now. I did my pre-child diversion, and I'm no longer a 2-time felon. That's right, clean. I have no record. Praise God. Of course, I have custody of my children. I got married to my best friend, the one and only guy that's ever treated me right and told me I'm worth something, that's built me up. And I got a new family. We got a new family in Christ. We have new friends, people that lift us up and check on us every day and don't want nothing from you. That's weird. Not thinking that, they have to have something in return. I know it sounds funny to some people, but I can actually get a bank loan. I never thought that I could do that. I never thought I'd have a credit score where I've messed up my life so much. And since I have been saved, and I've been hungry for Christ and digging in the Word, God's opened my eyes to so many things. I can see so much evil in this world, and I can actually help people now and teach my children right from wrong, so they don't go the same path that I did. But I can mentor them. I don't hide nothing from them. They know what I did and how I got out of it, and it was God. And also, we're running our own business now. I never thought that either. March 19th, I'll have 5 years clean. And I used for over 14 years. And I can tell you, you can go to rehabs and you can try to stay dry, but if you don't get God in your life, you won't stay clean. You won't have a new life, but you have to have God. And that's all I got. Thank you.
Well, hello, people. My name is Anthony Genoe. I'm a firm believer in Christ. Which always makes it hard. It's always hard to follow a testimony like hers. Well, when I started out, I'll give you a little background, just a little bit, because I don't really feel the need to dwell on the past a whole lot. So I was going to do this just a little different than usual. I grew up in a good family. My mom and my dad was not they was not drug addicts, and they taught me respect, taught me a lot of things that I really needed to learn. They was good parents. And then I was just, I don't know, I guess I had a wild streak in me that seemed to come in my family. I mean, but it was, of course, times changed. My father, when he was young, he got out and he drank and stuff like that. Well, I decided which I did those things too. And then I really let my temper get the best of me after I got up older. It was all on me. Mom and Dad couldn't help me, couldn't get me out of things. It was all on me to do it. I was an adult then, and let my temper get the best of me. Done all the things I probably should have done. I could tell you about all the jail time I did and all the prison time I did, but I mean that's kind of part of the life of a drug addict, I guess. I actually I have probably the weirdest drug court story ever, but it was a lifesaver. I failed over. It was sinus medication, which was fine. I was actually kind of mad about it for a long time, but it was really good for me. I've done so much better now in life. I know how drug court is. A lot of people do not like drug court. I was one of them people. I hated drug court as much as anybody could hate drug court. I didn't want to do it. I've always had a problem with authority. I didn't want people to tell me what I could and couldn't do. So, when they tell me I go to jail the last time, they tell me I could get out in drug court. I didn't really know a lot about it, but I always heard, it's set up for failure. Can't make it through it. Well, I was like, I'll take it. It'll give me time to run. And, well, I got out. My wife told me, she said, we can't live like this anymore. And we can't do it. And, well, that's all it took. I said, well, if I gotta quit, I'll be with you, I'll quit. So I did. I stuck with it. And, it was not easy. it's not easy at all. Drug court is not an easy process. But drug court is, it is, you are able to make it through it. If you want to make it through it, you will. Me and my wife met. This is not the romance novel you'll read for sure. I'm selling drugs, and I had a cousin that had brought her over. She was running around with my cousin, and well, they both walk in the house, and I hadn't seen her since we was in high school. And well, when she walks in, she remembered me right off. And of course, we was using. She just used, and most people would run. Most people got away from her. But I don't know. She was at a low point in her life and stuff, and she just kind of had that glow when she seen me. It felt good to have somebody feel like they wanted something to do with me. So we ended up, as she said, we're around each other for a few weeks, and then she gets locked up. 3 days after she gets locked up, I get locked up too. And oh man, most people would give up right then. And I'm like, well, this ain't meant to be. But things had a way of turning back around, and I can't sit here and tell you that my wife is the one that saved me, because she ain't. That was it was between me and Jesus. But I can tell you that y'all put things in your life, and they give you obstacles, but they also put things there to give you what you need. And my wife, she told me that we couldn't live like this. When she gets out of rehab, and we can get back together, and she says, says that we can't live like this, that things have to be different. Well, I loved her so much that I said, well, I'll quit. And I put a lot into that, because I wanted to quit for my wife. And then later on, I get drug court. So it worked out really well. And drug court saved my life. Well, I say this, God saved my life. Drug court's the reason what led me to it. My wife was very supportive, and pushed me. And I remember the night that I gave my life to the Lord, there was a man named Chance Bowling giving his testimony. And before that, I just sat back there, and I was, it was one of them things, I just fake it till I make it. And, well, when the man was sitting up there talking, I felt everything he said. I felt every bit of it. And it really hit me. And I thank God for that. Because that night I got saved. And since then, if someone tells you that it's going to be easy when you get saved, well, they're lying to you, because it's not going to get easy. It's not going to be easy at all. But I will say there's a way out, because when things get hard without God, you feel like there's no way out. But if you really have faith, then God will draw you in, and He'll take care of you, and He'll let you know that it's all right to make mistakes. Because when people tell you that, I hear people say, "Well, I need to get my life together before I start going to church," and that's not what God wants. Jesus didn't come here and die on the cross to wait on you to get better. He come here for you to come to Him when you're broken, and He'll make you better. That's the whole point of it. And if you want to really get better, then you fully commit yourself. You fully commit your life. That's the biggest key to it. You got to stand out of the way, and it's really hard. It's really hard to stand back and let people, or it's really hard to stand back and let anybody take control. And it's really hard to do it with God too. But once you get it to where you stand back and let Him have His way, then things really ease up. They get way better. I'm a broken mess, and I'm an ex-convict, drug addict. People wouldn't trust me nowhere around them. They want me around them. I've robbed people, stabbed people. I wasn't a good person. But I'm a way different person now. I go to people's houses, roof their houses, and they trust me with that. There's a lot of people that have a lot of faith in me now. And don't get discouraged when there's some of them people that always kind of look down on you for what you've done, because I still have that too. I've made it 4 years clean and sober, and I still have people look down on me. And that's fine, because they're entitled to that. I can't get mad about that. Because I know I've changed. Really, the only person that matters that knows that I've changed. Good Lord knows I've changed. And really, I'm not worried about anybody else's acceptance. That's the only person that I need acceptance from. It's like Randall said, you can roof and be sober. You can do it, because I do it every day. And I'm one of them people I used to think I had to get high and work. That ain't at all the case. I work way harder now than I ever did when I was high. I get way more done for sure. I run a successful business. Things actually they're going really well for me. I've been blessed, and I owe it all, my Lord and Savior. We go to a wonderful church, and people are very supportive. They've heard my testimony many times, mine and my wife's. So they know what kind of people we were, and they still want to hug us every Sunday morning. They ain't too worried. I had a guy. I was thinking about this on the way here. When I was in the SAT program, I had a coordinator tell me something one time that really stuck with me. It didn't get me clean, but it stuck with me. I still remember it, because I got high plenty of times after that. And he told me, he said, "Do you love yourself? You think you're a good person?" I said, "Well, yeah, of course I love me. That's me." He said, "Well, I got something I want you to try." I said, okay. He said, I want you to stand in the mirror. I want you to look at yourself. See how long it takes you before you're disgusted at what you see. He said it may take 5 seconds. It may take 5 minutes. Just try it. And I did. I tried it. And I'm just going to tell you, it didn't take me very long. It was pretty disgusting. He didn't know all the things I've done. I knew all the things I've done. It was between me and God. Well, I've been forgiven for all that. I have nothing to hide. I have no reason to be ashamed for anything I've done. Because if I hadn't been through the things that I've been through, I may not be saved today. I may not have God's grace and mercy like I do. And I'm very thankful for that. I wake up every day thankful for it. I wake up thankful I get to go to work. It's no longer about, man, I got to get up and go to work today. I get to go to work today. I'm blessed. I get to go and provide for my family. There ain't no greater blessings than that. I've been through different facilities, different institutions and prisons. None of them ever worked for me. And drug court wouldn't work for me either. If I had to do AA, I probably wouldn't be clean today. But instead, I did Celebrate Recovery, and I found out what I needed to do. And it was real apparent to me after I was there for a little while. When I give up myself, because it's no longer about me, and I give everything to God, things have done nothing but got better. I have friends now that I never in a million years would have thought I'd had. I have a really, really good friend that works at the prison. And I have to say, I was probably not a very big fan of prison guards through most of my life. I always told them they was wannabe cops. I called them 2.5s because they wasn't true 5.0s. So I go and talk to one. I hang out with him all the time. He's a great man. I met him through church. If someone tells you that, well, let me put it another way. If someone looks down on you because you've made mistakes, when you go to a church and they judge you because you got tattoos, because you got a bad history, well, you need to find another church. Because Jesus didn't come here to save the righteous, because in God's eyes, our righteousness is a filthy rags to Him. So none of that matters anymore. If you had people trying to discourage you, you need to find somewhere else to go. You can talk to me, you can talk to Randall. You need somebody to set you on the right path. You got to have a support system. And the best place to find a support system is at a good Celebrate Recovery or a good church. People that's willing to support you. Prayer is the most powerful thing you can do for anyone. Most people that really love somebody will enable. They just enable their ways because they think that they're doing the right things because they love them. They don't want to see them. When you come in dope sick, my mom would have done anything to help me. And she didn't mean to be, bless her heart. She was just doing what she thought a mother should do. She didn't want to see her child go through that. So she was always, oh, well, here, I'll give you the money that you need, or I'll do something to help you. And she was doing it out of goodness. But if you're really wanting to help someone, pray for them. There's nothing like the power of prayer. If it hadn't been for all those people that are praying for me, to tell them where I'd be right now. I have a wonderful family. I get to go home and enjoy time with my family. I have a wife that supports me. She don't like what I do. She don't like me roofing, but she's going to do with it, I guess. But she posts videos about it all the time. praying for me and the guys up there. But if you need someone, you need to find support. It's very, very crucial. And you got to find someone that will lead you to the Lord. And I got blessed when I got drug court. I got really blessed with where we attended our CRs. The pastor, very great guy. And the guy that runs Celebrate Recovery is a dear friend of mine, absolute great guy. He and that's not somebody that I ever thought I would hang around either. But he really wants what's best for you. And if anyone needs to reach out, me or my wife is one. We're here. We'll help people. There's nothing I don't think any harder to deal with than addiction when it comes to just if you go in Walmart, you're going to see things and it takes you back places. But just like our pastor preached Sunday, you can go back and you can visit these things in your mind. You can have memories, but you can't dwell in it. Of course, he preaches on the grieving process, but it's the same thing with drug addicts. You'll have things that remind you of old times. That makes it really hard. It's really hard on them, especially someone new in recovery. It's really hard. But you got to find somebody to keep pushing forward. But like Randall said, you can't find, can't have couples that use together and be clean together. If my wife hadn't drugged me to that church every Sunday, I'm sure I'd be back in prison because I know I wouldn't still be on the run. They would have done got me by now because I'm not real smart when it comes to avoiding the law. So I'm very thankful for that. And if anyone needs any help, they can get in touch with us through Facebook or something. I highly recommend that you get in touch with the Lord. If you want to stay clean, you go through God to do it. Because without Him, it all means nothing. It's spend a lot of time in prayer. I ask it. Anyone on here, pray for me. I need it too. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes every day. There's a lot of things, that it's really hard. There's things that's hard to do. And you can't be perfect. You can't be. There's only one perfect man ever on this planet, and he died to save us. And I'm very thankful, to have a relationship with the Lord like I do. Because the worst thing you can hear, is depart from me, for I never knew you. And I really want to make it. I really want to make it to heaven. When I was doing drugs, caring about it, I thought that was a myth. I was not a believer. I grew up in a home to believe, and I went my own way. But everything brought me back. It brought me back to where I needed to be. And find you a good support system, a good church, a good loving family, a good church family that draw you in and really try to support you and help you. And just because you make a mistake, don't let the devil tell you that you got to give up, because don't give up. Keep pushing forward, because just because you make a mistake, you fall down, you got to get back up. You can make mistakes, and that's fine, but you can't let them define you. You can't live in it. Thank you all for your time. Hope there was something I can do to help you. Thank you.
Well, how about that? I sat and listened to their stories. Everybody, you never know till you get in front of the computer how different this is to look at nothing. But every time when I hear people share their story, I was listening, and you both were raised different, completely different. But one thing stuck out to me in both of y'all's story. She treated you like somebody that made you think. You treated her like somebody that made you think. Hey, newsflash. How crazy is that? Treat people like somebody. No, they didn't just stop and get sober, right? But something happened there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a light clicked back on. That lie that you're not worth it. You'll never be nothing. You can't make it. That battle started happening. And you start telling yourself, hey, maybe I can do it. Maybe somebody believes in me. Maybe I can make it. Maybe I can do it. Here we are later. 4 years. Successful business. In roofing, right? Doing work. And everybody, I think, that starts out saying, I can't work if I'm sober. I know everybody used to try. I used to try to say the same thing. Listen, we tell ourselves all kinds of lies. But in both of these stories, you hear, that's why we believe there's multiple pathways to recovery, because she had to go somewhere, right? And she had to go get some help. And then she come back and told him, listen, you stop or you got to go somewhere. It wasn't going to be with her. And hey, it worked, right? But you got to have somebody to believe in you and to encourage you to get that ball rolling and get those steps rolling. And then, like they said, what we believe, we agree 100%, you got to have a support system. And let me tell you what, that church up there will support you. I've only been there a couple of times. I feel like I know everybody up there. They love on you. They encourage you. Like he said, they know their past and they love them anyway. My church knows my past and they love me anyway. There's churches around here that know our past. Hey, how would you like to get on here and tell everything you've ever done? It ain't easy. I like how you said, hey, usually when we get further in recovery, man, those bad years just seem harder and harder to remember, seems like. It just seems less and less important. Because I'm interested in what we're doing now. What we're doing today. And what we're trying to do now is to grab more people. I tell some people are bass fishermen, but we're cat fishermen.
That's right.
I like them at the bottom. I like the ones that nobody else wants, right? We'll set out all night. Usually stinks. Usually there's a lot of dirty stuff around it. But if you ever see a catfish set free, if you ever see a Genoe, a Brittany, or Brianne, or Anthony, or Randy set free, listen, these people know what it feels like to be a nobody, and God changed their life, and they will work hard to let God know how much they appreciate that. I work hard to let God know. I know I can never make up for it. That's one thing people say, you can never make up for it. I understand that. But I think it's good to try. I like to try to give back to a man that knew when I come to him I had absolutely nothing to offer. Nobody else wanted me. And he said, I want you. Not only do I want you, but I want to use you. And he cleaned us up. And then he put us out here and he said, tell more people about me. So that's what we're here to do, is to share that story, point you towards him. Hey, they done told you, if you want to, reach out to them. I've got them tagged in here. Reach out. Ask them on Facebook. Hey, you don't believe us? Go out there and check Whitley City Church of God. They have the Celebrate Recovery on Sunday nights. They start feeding at 5. And they always got a spread now. And then they have service at 6 o'clock. I guarantee you they'll love on you. And we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like I said, I know I've already told you a little bit, but we've got a short film that we're going to put on this Wednesday. The Tennessee Day of Hope is the 10th. And you all need to tune in and watch this. We've had a local man that filmed and produced this movie for us. Stan has paid to have this movie done, and we've had local people get on it and do the acting and stuff in this thing. It's a short film. It's about 10 minutes long, but I believe you all, I know for a fact that you all will be encouraged by this, and we'll get the conversation started. So tune in Wednesday night, 6 o'clock, Facebook Live. We'll have a little presentation. We'll have some stuff to ask you for, and we'll see you Wednesday at 6 o'clock. I love every one of you.